PARTEX Labels Creator. Quick Start. Preparing and printing your first label. PARTEX Labels Creator allows you to quickly and easily make labels and markers that will organize your place of work. This film will guide you through the process, and it will show you how to make a ready-to-print label. The process consists of 4 stages: creating the project, preparing a new label template, entering serial data and variables, and printing. To illustrate this process, we'll present it from start to finish by designing and printing a simple label. Creating the project. In the upper left corner of the app window, press the Partex logo to open the app's menu. New Design tab will open immediately. Now select the type of label you want to use when printing. To make searching easier and to narrow down the list, you can use the filters located in the upper section of the window. Selecting your printer type and a product family narrows down the choices to products compatible with the selected criteria. If you know the product code, it's best to enter it in the search box. Select the product of your choice from the product list below. In the lower section of the window, enter a name for the label set you're creating. Next, save the file onto your hard drive. Once the project file has been created, it's time to prepare the label template. Select the Edit Layout button from the upper menu bar. Designing a new label template starts from setting the margin size, left, right, and top, bottom. Now, we should divide the label into sections. Creating labels with PARTEX Labels Creator is based on grid design. In order to visualize the grid for a sample label, let us divide it into rows and columns, which will place each piece of information in a different cell. To achieve the desired effect, we should divide our label into 6 rows and 2 columns. To add rows, click the plus located to the left of the editor. Repeat this action until you have the desired number of rows. Now use the plus icon located on the upper bar to add more columns. You can edit the width of columns and rows simply by dragging the separator line or by entering new values in the upper menu bar. Now let's add more space for the QR code and our company's logo by merging the rows in the second column. To merge the cells, just mark the ones you want and click the Merge button on the upper menu bar of the opened window. Now let's add an image with our company's logo. Select the cell you want and mark in the menu that this cell will contain an image. Choose the correct file from your computer's drive and confirm the choice. The selected image will be automatically converted into printable points and adjusted to the maximum size of the cell while keeping the original ratio. You can change the image's size and black point adjustments and set the image's parameters so that only the logo's outline is visible. Note that you can observe the effects of changes in the preview section of the screen. And once you're happy with the result, confirm your choice by clicking OK, which will add the image to the selected cell. You can also add a barcode or 2D code into the label. Click the QR code icon on the upper menu and select the type of code you want to place in the cell. As before, confirm your choice by clicking the OK button. If you want to leave some cells empty, it's best to disable them from receiving a focus. Confirm the label template by clicking the OK button. The window will close and you'll see the preview in the editor. Enter the first label data before proceeding with the next steps. You can do it by clicking individual cells or by using the Enter key to move to the next cell of your label. After entering the data, you can start formatting the texts. To achieve the effect that we had in mind for your sample label, we're going to change the font. Now, if you don't mark a specific cell, the font changes for the entire label. In the same way, we apply bold to the font and align the text inside the cells. Now mark the cell with the QR code and align it right to better use the space available on the label. Font settings can also be edited for each cell separately. By clicking individual cells, you can increase the size of the font for the important elements of the label. Entering serial data and variables. Our requirement for the sample label is that the QR code has to include our company's name and other information, which on the label are separated by the semicolons, as seen on the screen. Instead of copying the data, we set a new variable as the data source for the QR code. Select the cell with the QR code in the editor and click it with the right mouse button. In the Data Source panel, on the right side, change the data source from text to variable, and then add a text variable containing the company's name that is not on the label. Then add a cell type element. Below, you'll see a preview of your label, where you can select the cell that will provide the data. Next, continue to add variables linked to the contents of different cells and separate each variable with a text field containing a semicolon until you achieve the desired variable. Note that throughout this process, you can observe the preview of the designed variable. When you define all the cells, click Apply in the lower section of the panel. Your QR code for each label will contain unique values taken from the contents of the label. Once your design is complete, you can start entering serial data to prepare labels for product batches. In our sample project, we want the 3 final digits of the serial number to be unique for each label and contain values between 1 and 100. Place the cursor within the field with the serial number and remove the initial number 001 at the end. Place the cursor at the end of the text field just after the dash, and select a data sequence from the upper menu. Enter the first and the last value and set the filler content if you want to keep the same length of the number. Check the preview in the right section of the screen and make sure that the sequence is as you want it. Then click the Apply button. Now, the project contains 100 labels, each with an individual serial number and QR code. Printing. Everything's ready. Now just click the Partex logo in the upper left corner. Then, from the menu in the left margin, choose the Print option, which will display extra printing options you can set according to your needs. Finally, click the Print button to print the labels you've designed. Tip: if you're printing on rolls, first print just one label and check the positioning of the printout. Using the option Print Settings, Vertical or Horizontal Adjustment, you can correct the printout's position on the label, which might be necessary and will depend on the model of the printer. In case of A4 format labels, print the first label on a sheet of paper and check whether the positioning suits your needs. The trial printout can also be made on a copy of label sheet.